For me, three things. I think one's the psychological side of the game, trying to work with the players and see what makes them tick individually. It's not easy, it's difficult, and I have made mistakes this year, and I probably will make more mistakes as we go on, but I think I'd like to think that I know most of the players now, and hopefully going forward I'll know what makes them tick. I think the excitement of the games, that's good. And the other side is just the new challenge. The new challenge, going to different grounds, playing against different teams, different managers, constantly thinking on your feet. It's brilliant. It's something that we haven't been used to, because we've obviously been involved with pro clubs in the past, or youth football, and it's very structured at pro clubs. Whereas this it's a little bit out there, and there's something to think about every week. But them three things are probably the main things for me.
I think just getting challenged every game by our own players, not just the opposition. Getting challenged in training sessions, tweaking training sessions a little bit, because obviously when you've got lads full time, you can bounce from day to day with sessions that are going to help you. But I think with likes of the Taddy lads, again going back to the part time thing, is some of them have come from a long day at work. You have to be careful of how intense sessions are. If sessions aren't as intense as they should be, keep maintaining fitness of the lads, which is again, when we're in a full-time programme, we don't really have to do too much once the season starts, because they're in every day, whereas these lads are obviously once, twice a week, so we need to make sure that the fitness levels are up there as well. So like Mike said, the psychological side of it, we found that the semi-pro level relies on a lot of the psychological thing when it's negative and positive as well. So it's a challenge all round really.
For me, I won't change anything at the moment, because I think the decisions that we've made will benefit us in the future. I think that we've made just as many good decisions as bad decisions. There's a lot of things that will change, and there's a lot of things that we'll keep doing the same thing. But I think that for us to look now and go, we'll change it, we can't. It's done now. It's in the past. We've got to move forward. So, answer to the question is I won't change anything. But moving on. Looking at it and reflecting it, after we've spoke about things, there's definitely a few things that would change, and there's definitely a few things that we'll keep doing.
I think it's like from pre-season. I think there's a lot of little tweaks that we'll probably do differently. But that's we're saying that at the moment. But we might have a great run from now to the end of the season, and we might find out that what we've done has actually been beneficial. So we won't know until probably the end of the season. But listen, we reflect after every training session, we reflect after every game, so we're trying to improve as much as we can. We listen to the lads, when the lads have got something to say, or so we're trying to improve all the time. So it's difficult right now to say what we change and what we do differently until we've had a full season under our belt.
Good question, though. No, I don't think you have to respond. I think, listen, there's no right or wrong in football. You'll have a different opinion to me. Sometimes me and Sal will have different opinions, but we'll go in the same direction at the end. But listen, like I say, there's no right or wrong. Everyone's entitled to have an opinion. At the end of the day, we've just got to do a job, and we've got to do what we feel's right for the club. So, I'm happy for people to have opinions, because there's some things we'll read and we'll go, yeah, I get that, and I'll take a bit from it. There's other things where, it won't cross my mind, and we'll just carry on. So it's just football. It's football. No matter what you do in football, everyone's got opinions. So fans can put as many comments as they want. Some are good, some are bad. We'll just keep moving on, keep learning, and go from there.
Like I said in the previous question as well, I think that there's not a moment in a training session or after a game that myself and Mikey don't reflect on what we've done. We never lose a game and immediately blame the players or officials or anything else. We always look at ourselves first and think about what we could have done differently, whether we selected the right personnel, whether we selected the right shape, whether the game plan was right or whatever. It's like we always look at ourselves first and then try and break it down from there. So, a lot of the comments that fans put, probably, as I said, it's their opinion, the right to their opinion, and we take it on board. And I said, there's not much in there that they haven't said that we've already reflected on ourselves.
Well, I think if you look back to Monday's game, when we played Brighouse and beat Brighouse 5-0, Sellers has been struggling with a foot injury, and Jason wasn't available. So Jason he'd had one training session up to the game. And listen, you've got to reward the players. It's not one of them where we're going to chop and change if players have had a good game. I understand that Pete dropped out in the warm-up, which is a shame. It was a big loss to us. But if you look at Howie and Roper, when they've played together, they've been fantastic. And I think if you look at Azza's, he's been with us, he's been training, he's been in around the team. He's an ex-pro, he's got good experience. So we just felt it was an opportunity to put Howie back in there and give us a bit of legs, and then Adi to come in. And like I say, Jason was not there on the Monday, and Sellers was sort of struggling with a knock, and unfortunately Sellers playing in the game sort of aggravated his ankle again, which is a shame. But listen, you have to make split decisions. We had 5 minutes, and we do talk about adjustments. We do plan ahead, don't we? And that was just something that we felt was right for that game.
I think it's important to point out as well that Jason is a fantastic player. He's been brilliant for us. He's played for myself and Mike for a long time now, hasn't he? Even before the days of eye to eye. So we know Jason really well. Jason's had real bad chronic knee injuries over his time playing and stuff. And he'll admit to yourselves that he struggles to go from if there's a game on a Saturday, if he plays 90 minutes, then likelihood is if we've got a game on a Tuesday, he'll struggle to go and do 90 minutes again. So we have to be careful with him in training. And it's one of them ways. He's just one of those players that we need to look after as much as he plays.
It's been quite a lot, to be fair. Quite a lot. I don't like losing. I hate losing. It's just not in my nature to lose. Whenever we've been involved in any level of football, we've always got to a point where we win more games than we did when we lose, and at the moment it's not that. But again, we've got to take a step back. I think it's our first crack at this, and we brought in 15 new players, so it does take time. I think it's just inconsistency, but that's just not having enough time with the lads, which will eventually come. Yeah, I think just them two things really for me. They're the most frustrating thing. I don't like losing, and it's not something that I expect to get used to. It's something where every time we lose a game, or even if we draw a game, which we're disappointed with a few games at home, we'll reflect, we'll look at it, we'll think about how we can bounce back. I think we've bounced straight back with some sort of point. So we've just got to make sure that that we bounce back, win games, and just win more than we lose, and then I'll probably be more happy then. Probably me at the moment. Si's not come out of his shell yet. No, yeah, probably me. We haven't. I wouldn't say we're them types of managers. It's something that we're not scared of doing. I think we've done it once this year, but I think, look, listen, we're dealing with adults here, and we're adults as well, and shouting and bawling and screaming at players, and I don't feel it gets the best out of them sometimes. I'm not saying there's not a place for it, but at the end of the day, most of them players that are in there, if they've had a bad game, they should know they've had a bad game. It's not that I won't, brush it under the carpet and leave it. We'll sort of have a chat with the player at some point. Again, not saying that I won't say it in a change room, but at the moment it's probably me. I'd say he's more ruthless when he comes out of his shell, and the lads will probably come across that over the second part of the season, because obviously now we've got a feel at the players and where our expectation levels are, and that's just where we're at. But I think Si's coming.